Welcome back to the Commercial Real Estate Show. I'm Michael Bull. Thanks for being with us. Well, today we're talking about the U.S. office market. And one of the things that's interesting about the office market is how do you manage all these properties? Well, please welcome my next guest, Stephen Ring. He's managing director with Cushman Wakefield. He's responsible for investor services in Northern California, consisting of over 28 million square feet and a team of over 125 members. Stephen, thanks for joining us today.
Good morning.
Well, first of all, I have to ask you, how is the office market in Northern California? Is it just crazy? What do you see there?
You know what? It's another gold rush, to be honest with you.
Gold.
It is reminding me of the days about 7 years ago and 7 years before that also.
So a gold rush of investors buying assets and tenants leasing space, the whole 9 yards?
Exactly. I mean, we're at a point now where unemployment's fallen below 5%. Vacancies down to about 8% almost, and the investors' appetite just continues, and the pricing reflects it, obviously.
Yeah, well, that's great. And one of the things that people are concerned about is sustainability and LEED certification. How are these initiatives impacting bottom line numbers on a lot of these large office properties that you're asset managing?
Well, I have to say I've been involved quite a few years in it, so I've seen it as it's progressed through. And interesting, in the beginning, having a LEED certification, for example, was a big differentiator in the San Francisco market in particular, whereas now it's sort of a course of doing business. Mm-hmm. But the bottom line is that we are finding savings, be it energy, water, trash. It's just a bottom line benefit that comes out and reflected in the net income. But more so, what we're also finding is the other pieces of sustainability is that it's also creating spaces that really attract top talent. And we've had some major clients of ours who said, we really never saw that impact, that when they come into a space and we're trying to attract these employees, and you can imagine the talent pool is very limited, having spaces that have sustainability pieces to it and more productive looking spaces really helps them attract top employees to their company. So that's the other added benefit we're seeing.
Yeah, that's key. The bottom line savings is very important, but getting the right tenants in there is maybe even more important. Well, what tips would you have for property owners who may be hesitant to invest in sustainable initiatives?
There's the old saying, start with the low-hanging fruit, and it still applies. I mean, there's ways where you can start with just, simple, as we say, changing out the lights, changing out lighting controls, such as motion sensors. But one of the things that I say to owners so they don't get too caught up, because there's a lot of neat technology out there from solar to wind and so forth like that, is start with saving energy first. In other words, as we say, the non-sexy things like new windows, insulation. Before you start creating energy, because if you think about it, that's what you're doing with solar, start saving energy first and then go to the next step, which is usually a higher investment a lot of times.
Right, so get it going, start somewhere. Well, have you found any employee or tenant pushback on green initiatives? I know one initiative I heard of was instead of having people come in and turn on the utilities to clean at night, they want to clean during the day. And I don't know if I want someone cleaning my office during the day while I'm in there. Do you get any pushback on some of these issues?
It's interesting. We have, be it in Northern California, it's different than the rest of the world, quite frankly, and we know that. We did, here and there we'll get some pushback. We have some funny stories, like I remember employees in one building, we changed out all the aerators, like in the kitchen, that's, where the water goes through, and one employee called downstairs and said, this is annoying because now it takes about 10 seconds more for me to fill up the coffee pot. And then after the first couple of days, they're like, okay, we understand it, Right. And another case where an employer was upset that their employees had to go all the way across the hall to a compost bin because composting is mandatory in San Francisco. But again, after a few days, and it's really changing as we're finding this new generation is just growing up with recycling and composting. there's an expectation when the employees come into an office. What are you doing, company, and what are you doing, building, to lessen the impact upon the world? So it's much different than it was a few years back.
We're short on the break, but what's in the future of green initiatives?
There's a lot out there on the initiative, a lot of neat technology, but really what it comes down to is where we're going to do our voluntary efforts and where mandates are going to come in together. And I think that's where the two have to sort of meet together. But I think we're seeing some good things that are coming out of it for the future.
Yeah, I think technology is really improving, so that might be the next wave. Well, Stephen, thanks for joining us today. We sure appreciate you being on the show.
Oh, thank you.
And stay tuned. We're going to have more on the U.S. office market, including cap rates, investment sales, and more. I'm Michael Bull. This is the Commercial Real Estate Show. We'll be right back. The Commercial Real Estate Show is brought to you by Bull Realty Commercial Brokerage, a great place to do business. Visit bullrealty.com. RealNex, a comprehensive suite of powerful commercial real estate tools at an incredibly low price. Visit realnex.com. That's RealNex. Sozo Web Hosting and Cloud Solutions. Secure, reliable, and worry-free. Visit sozo.com. That's SOZO.com. FIU, Florida International University. Earn your master's in real estate online in as little as 10 months. Visit FIUonline.com. And by France Media, providing exposure to the world of commercial real estate. Visit francemediainc.com. For more information on these great companies or for additional podcasts, videos, or blogs, visit creshow.com.